Welcome back to the App Show. I'm Jenny, and this is James.
So some of our teams here at Google stay relatively the same size and don't necessarily add a ton of people.
But others grow and expand depending on their workflows if they add a new project or a new contract.
Yeah, we just had to grow the size of our Google Apps for Work sales teams, actually.
Exactly, and one of our main learnings from that was how to get a team onboarded and scaled quickly with apps, and then also decrease that learning curve so they could hit the ground running.
So today we're going to share a couple of those tips and tricks, specifically how to set up Google Groups, use shared drive and a Google Sheet to track training, and use a shared calendar for onboarding purposes.
You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Like James mentioned, last quarter our sales team grew a ton.
We had people joining from all different offices, not just here in Mountain View.
Yep, and we had a real struggle with making sure they all got the communications they needed and the training that they needed to get up and running.
Exactly. Now, John and Debbie do have a recent episode about onboarding, which you can watch here.
Yep, and it's definitely worth it, but in this episode, we're going to break down the checklist of things that we use to get those folks up and running and ready to go.
And the first thing is Google Groups, which is really essential to our onboarding process. It's perfect for online discussion and much more. For example, this is our Google group for the sales team. It looks kind of like other online forums. Any member can make a post, and any member can post replies.
Any emails sent out to that group are going to go to everyone involved, so it's a great way to keep everybody on the same page and increase team spirit.
Definitely simplifies communication, so let's go ahead and check it out.
To start a group, first check with your admin to make sure you have permission to do so, and then go to groups.google.com and click Create Group. Then name it. Since we've already got the sales group, let's make sales training. This email address is going to be at yourdomain.com, and it can have the same name as the Google group. Any email sent to this address will go to the whole group, so make sure you add a description and select the group type. In this case, we want an email list.
So using groups with Gmail is great. We use it whenever a new team member joins and give them a good welcome to the team.
Exactly, and it's going to be way, way easier than remembering a long list of names, especially of all the new hires.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and actually check out how to add new members. Now you can do this either when you're first creating the group or on a rolling basis as those new team members join. Let's dive in. Back on Groups, click the Manage link. Here's the Invite Members link. If you invite people, they have the option whether to join or not. But in our case, we want everyone to be in the group, so we use the Direct Add Members option. This means that the people whose email addresses you list here are automatically made members of the group and will automatically receive your group's emails.
So, like Google Groups, using Google Drive folders is a great way to keep everyone together on the same page during training. So you can just take all the presentations, the sheets, the documentation that those trainees are going to need, and share that folder with the Google group that you just created, and that way everyone stays in the loop.
I like it, but you know that people can start trainings at different times or go at a different pace. So what seems like a simple process can probably get pretty complex pretty quickly.
Exactly, and one of my favorite ways to manage that multi-headed beast is actually to keep all of the training documentation, including the order, in a Google Sheet.
Holy sheet.
Truer than you know. Let's take a look. So this sheet in particular has like 20 different tabs, and we're just looking at one of them here. It's a great way to list all the training resources in the order they need to be completed with a couple notes, and it's also adjusted to show who's done what training.
So if I'm the one who's overseeing all of this training, I can easily hop into the sheet to see if our instructors have marked certain sections as completed. The way we set it up is so our trainees have comment-only access.
Exactly. We don't want anyone to grade their own homework, but we do want to know when they have questions, and we also want them to be able to access all the great resources that we have linked. Here, for example, is a link to a form that the new associates need to fill in. It's kind of like a homework assignment that proves that they've read all the documentation they're supposed to. And for bonus points, you can even take that spreadsheet and add it to one of our Google Sites along with any other training information or anything else you want your trainees to know, and you've got yourself a beautiful little training portal.
I like it. Now, we've really touched on sheets and groups, but Jenny, what else is there for training and onboarding?
You need a calendar reminder.
Calendar. We love Calendar here at Google. It helps our teams stay on track. Who does what, where, when, and with who.
Whom?
Precisely.
Just saying.
Now there's not just one calendar, but when you're on teams, you may have many different calendars. So with whom you share it is really important.
Correct.
Here you can see there are multiple calendars that apply to different aspects of how the larger team works. This one is for new sales employees. If I mouse over the calendar, then I get a triangle icon, which, if I click it, gives me access to all of its settings. If I click on Share this calendar, I can see the permissions. So as you can see, all of the trainees have permission setting of see all event details because we want them to see all the events but not be able to modify them.
You can also invite a Google group too with this email, and that way you're going to get everyone on that list without having to type in their names individually. Really decreases the chances of forgetting somebody. And another really great tip that my team actually uses is we attach our agenda in the form of a Google Doc to the calendar invitation, and that way we take our notes and we have a list of action items after the meeting is over.
I like that, Jenny. Oh, that sound is my calendar calling. Got to go to another meeting, but luckily we're right at the end of this App Show episode.
Join us again next week for another great episode of the App Show.
Don't forget to leave your comments at the bottom, and please do share.
And subscribe. See ya.
You may already have a personal Gmail account. You might even have a website already. So why would you even need Google Apps for work?
Well, it just doesn't seem professional sending emails from my personal Gmail account. And having my business name and domain name instead as part of my email just seems standard protocol for a business owner.